The latest on Fleetwood Mac. Now this is another one. I've made several videos because there have been hints, rumors, and allegations that there is a possibility. We talked about this a whole lot last year. This was all based on some wishful thinking from Mick Fleetwood, who would love for them to get back together. The only holdout would be John, but John's never said absolutely no. You know, he always plays that guy. I was out, but they pulled me back in. And he kind of likes playing that role. I don't think he would be a problem. The only bugaboo was that, well, Stevie Nicks kicked out. It was her wish. It was her demand that got him kicked out of the band, of course, Lindsey Buckingham. But if you want the classic Fleetwood Mac, you know, their biggest lineup, the most famous lineup anyway, you've got to have Christy McVie, you've got to have Stevie Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham. There's your songwriting people. But Christine passed away, right? And I was supposing, well, hey, wait a minute now, hold on a second. You know, Christine wasn't there for Say You Will as an album and all of that. So that's been done. Fans seem to accept that. That's not one of their greatest efforts. As a matter of fact, they did kind of the same thing, only they didn't call it Fleetwood Mac with the McVie and Buckingham album, which sounds more Fleetwood Mac than Say You Will, actually. And has Say You Will has everybody but Christine. McVie and Buckingham has everybody but Stevie Nicks. Right? So I see an opening there. The only problem is you know, Stevie Nicks is, in my humble opinion, Miss Scarlet with a hatchet in the library. She bludgeoned him. You know, she bludgeoned him out of that band. And that was always the problem. But I always said, wait a minute, talking about money, honey. Talking about money. And people finally gave up on it, and you couldn't sell the idea to save your life. Well, guess what? They're talking about this possibility again, and it does get down to money. Not that they're saying this in any of the articles I've read, but read between the lines. I'm good at reading between the lines, baby.
I know.
Yeah. So how did this all come up? Well, they did a re-release of the Buckingham Nicks album. And there was grand interest in that. Everybody wanted one. I want one. You know, just try and find one. And this blew, I think, I think it blew Lindsey and Stevie's minds. They didn't think there'd be that much interest, to tell you the truth. They were gonna boutique sell that puppy. But great interest with the fans. Oh my God, all of a sudden, newer fans. Then all of a sudden, on Valentine's Day, they start making smooches on, what, was it Instagram? One of you guys could tell me. On one of the social media platforms I don't give a damn about. Smooch. Oh, you're not so bad. You're not so bad either, right? And it's been all and everything else since then. Well, guess what Lindsey has just been quoted as saying in an article here. What he says is, since 2019, things, you know, went down that year that should never have gone down. But Stevie and I are talking, and he announces that, you know, that there's this new Apple produced, so I guess it's going to be on Apple TV, documentary on Fleetwood Mac. Now, I covered that, didn't I? Then I also covered that on one of my streams and maybe on a video, that the album, this album right here, and by the way, this is just as good. Okay, all right. But this was the big hit. This was big. This is bigger, right? Keeps re-entering the chart since last year, early last year, and has even re-entered the charts again here in 2026. Okay, we have this documentary that's coming out. We see Rumours re-entering the charts for the last year and a half. We see them making nicey nice, lots of interest in the Buckingham Nick's album, right? And Buckingham saying, you never know what the future may hold now. All of that. And you add this. Next year, when this documentary comes out, is the anniversary year for Rumours. Sense a pattern? Like I said, I speak between the lines very well. I've been watching this stuff happen. It seems like, unless health issues raise their ugly head, there's a very real possibility that Fleetwood Mac could tour into 2027, maybe 2028, to celebrate a major release around that. And knowing Lindsey, knowing Stevie, maybe even one final album. This is big news. This is big opportunity. I've been covering this story for a ton of time, folks. This has been a long time coming. This is one of my favorite bands, Lindsey Buckingham. You guys voted him as one of the top 25 guitarists. All right, the Tribe loves the Fleetwood Mac. The Tribe loves Lindsey Buckingham. And many of you even love Stevie Nicks. Not me, but...
no, Christine was my girl.
Yeah, she was my girl too. Rest in peace, Christine. We truly miss you.
McVie, I loved her voice.
And I'm glad you brought that up, baby, because that raises the question that we were talking about this time last year.
Yeah.
Who would replace her? You've always told me who has sexy voices, you know, like Paul Rogers.
Christine's voice.
As a male, I'm going to tell you, Christine has a sexy voice, but then so does Stevie Nicks.
Yep.
She's got that, you know, kitten all curled up by a fireplace next to you, baby.
Yeah.
Kind of voice, you know. And Christine is the voice you'd take home to mama. Sheryl Crow was a suggestion of mine last year. I'm glad somebody else brought that up. Seems like a natural fit. Now, why do I think they'll do that? Because here's why. Fleetwood Mac, when they kicked out Lindsey Buckingham, they went and they got semi-superstars to kind of replace him. They did that the first time he left. Semi-superstars to kind of replace him. So that's what they're going to do. It's like, but who do they get to replace him? Do we get a chick keyboardist who is as good a keyboardist? All right, I think Crow plays a bit of keyboards, but I think she plays about as much as I do, which is not being a keyboardist at all. Christine McVie was a great keyboardist. Yeah, she wasn't like one of the greatest piano players of rock, but she was really good, you know? Yeah. And so do we then put like a traveling keyboardist and put them in the back like they did on The Dance, you know, extra musicians in the back and darken it, and then have Sheryl Crow mainly on guitar all the time, maybe occasional simple keyboard kind of thing. But then you lose the look, the ambiance, the flavor of the instrumentation that classic rock lineup has.